Everybody is talking about Spencer Pratt. You're seeing it. It's all over. Politicos are trying, bless their hearts, to talk about this guy. You know that they had to Google him. They looked him up the moment that they heard about him, rather than someone like me who has been following Spencer Pratt since the early days of The Hills. So when the new beginnings came, Spencer and Heidi are still together. He's still doing the crystals. She's still doing her music. She's still a Christian and he's a Christian, and they're raising their children, and that's really important to her. The family's important, and loyalty to friends is important. Let me tell you, if you can be in the public eye with people hating you, talking crap on you, making fun of you and your wife and her career and her looks and this and that, whatever they want to talk about all these years, for 20 years, right? 20 years. The Hills started in 2006. We're 20 years later. Spencer Pratt is a consistent guy. He's a guy you can trust, in my opinion. From what I have seen, immediately when I heard he was running for mayor, I said, yeah, I would vote for Spencer. I wish he was running for mayor here. I just wanted to give the lens, this reality show lens of what I've learned, not only from MTV reality shows, which if you find that interesting, you may, but also about who Spencer Pratt was throughout this, what he did throughout his career, through the last 20 years, and why no one can say he's unexperienced, that he's never run a business, and doesn't understand about public, and doesn't understand about who the people in the world that he's catering to is. I mean, he is a politician. He is the only politician who understands the mass audience. He created what we all watch now. He created what these politicians are doing now. Spencer is good at what he's doing because of this. He is authentic, and I'm just all about it. So let me know your thoughts. I love The Hills. I love Spencer Pratt, and I really do hope he does win. But I do think that he is going to actually do some great stuff politically. The mindset and the type of person that Spencer is, I believe, is the type of people that are going to be our next politicians. I think that people like Spencer Pratt, people that are in my generation, are actually starting to rise up. And what I love the most about Spencer, it really does define my generation. It's not a pretty look. Okay, let's just be honest. My generation would really have loved, we would have loved to just sit back and be comfortable. That's all we wanted. We just wanted to be rich and comfortable. And like, that's what we were taught. That's the entertainment we were brought. Like, that's what we wanted. But then the world came crashing down around us. They're not letting us be comfortable. So now we actually have to fix things because the people are screwing everything up. So yeah, this generation that we've been pretty quiet, we've just been sitting back, letting other people do their thing. We want to live our life happily. We want to live our life, do our jobs. We want to work. We have no problem working, but we just want to do it quietly over here. We don't want to be a part of anything. We don't need to do the politics. That's what our generation, we've been quiet. I'm not saying that was a great choice because we see what's happened, but now you're going to see people like me, like Spencer Pratt, in this generation rise up. And this is because the boomers, because the Gen Zs, because the Gen X, because all the people around us are screwing things up and we don't like it. And so, yeah, nice try, elites. You had us when you were making our lives comfortable. But then when you decided to switch it up and the enshittification turned into making our lives miserable, hey, by the way, you have a whole generation here who remembers what it's like when we were actually consumers that mattered, when you catered to us. So we're still here. You didn't kill us off. You tried to. We're not going to get into that. You tried to, but we're still here. We remember the good old days, and we're going to bring those back. We're not bringing on this enshittification. We're going to make things better again. And that's what I see with Spencer Pratt. So we are stepping up. I have started to create a channel. I mean, like, seriously, this is what's happening. I've seen it happen to people my age who really just didn't want to be a part of it. But you know what? We've got to be. And we should have come in earlier. But you're going to see a lot of this happening. And Spencer Pratt is a great, consistent, loyal. I mean, if anyone knows anything about Spencer Pratt, you know he's loyal. By the time the new beginnings came, he already had a successful crystal business that is still going on today. This entire time, he actually has improved his image But if you watch, they haven't changed. They've been the exact same Heidi and Spencer on Celebrity, like I'm a Celebrity, get me out of here, right? Celebrity Big Brother. They've done so many of the celebrity type of reality shows. They've never lied. They wanted to do this. Like they did it for the money. They did it to get attention and for Heidi's music career. It's crazy how much she's done for Heidi's music career. And guess what? It's doing well. And she's about to release, and this is not even on a recent like LP release. I think she had a limited release very recently, maybe in the last year or so, that is doing amazing. But then she has Masterpiece coming up. So she's going to do a full album release, but she is doing awesome. So when Spencer comes on and he talks about not being able to talk about what he's doing, he's not able to talk about his Pratt Daddy, he's not able to talk about Heidi and her music business, which is all the stuff that's keeping them running, keeping them supported. I mean, I have no connection to the campaign. I'm talking about it because to me, it has to do with their success and their longevity and their consistency over time. Someone being able to not only foresee a reality television concept of the villain he created, this villain, like he was not the only original villain, but one of them. So just coming and saying he's a reality TV star, no, he has charisma, he has status. I know that because if you watch any reality MTV type of show or even like a Selling Sunset show, you know that these people actually have to have some personality. They have to be able to embody these stories. They have to be able to be intelligent in these certain ways. There are certain like Adam DiVello type of reality shows, you really do have to have some level of intelligence to be a star in them. There are other reality shows you do not, but when you're watching this sort of one, this is not a simple, if you watch the last scene of The Hills, that amplifies exactly who Adam DiVello is, what The Hills and his style of reality TV is, as well as the audience and the not only how his appreciation of the audience, his understanding of who the audience was. This guy, me, I'm the audience. So when you watch that last scene, Brody's sitting there, him and Kristen are actually apparently, allegedly reported, secretly hooking up, whatever. And he's like, don't go. And she's like, I'm gonna go. And then he watches, you know, in the sunset and the Hollywood hillside is behind him and he watches the car go. And then he has to watch him standing there. And then you hear Adam, there's someone, I assume it's Adam, say, cut, and it's wrap. And then the set people move the fake Hollywood sign from behind him, the fake hills from behind him. And all of a sudden he's in a set. That was not like, oh, gotcha. That was a, hey, thanks for playing with us for 6 seasons. We all knew this was a set. We all knew that this was, you know, this soap opera, fake reality, like this aspiration of drama. We knew it. And they didn't try to pretend anything different. They were like, they broke that fourth wall. It was such a calm but dramatic way. It was so respectful. It was like a reverence to the audience moment that when I watch it now, I still like, I will tear up because production, I am a producer. I just love production and how they create these moments. And that moment to me is the best series finale reality show ever. They brought Natasha Bedingfield back in, right? But they did the unwritten in like an acoustic kind of trippy vibe, which you see them do that a lot with 90s and 2000s music. Now they try to like change the flow and make it like, I mean, you see with the HBO sports commercial and it's like, every step you take, like, I'll be watching you, and they made it all weird. Yeah. So anyway, they did it with Natasha Bedingfield. This was before it was like a thing people did. And it was so good. I'm hearing it in my heart and my head. I'm just like, the rest is still unwritten. I'm not going to sing it for you. Anyway, so this turned into like an appreciation of what Adam DiVello has done. But Spencer Pratt is the reason why Adam's shows developed into what they did. When he brought New Beginnings back, unlike Gossip Girl, where they did not understand the audience, they didn't know who was going to watch it. Gossip Girl, they tried to get a new generation. Adam DiVello was like, I know who you are, Elena, producer Elena, 42-year-old. I guess I was in my late 30s at the time. Still, I know who you are, late 30s people, and you want this. And you don't want us to remake the wheel. You want us to give you the wheel, perfectly packaged, just with your age. And that's what they did. And of course, they brought Spencer and Heidi back. And this is what's the most important part that I have to show you about Spencer and Heidi and who they actually are. You cannot talk about The Hills. You cannot talk about Laguna Beach without talking about Adam DiVello, without talking about the development of reality TV, without talking about the audience and how it related to what we were watching and who we were watching, because that's the arena that Spencer was introduced in. And that's why we have a connection. Even before, I was in the Laguna Beach era. I mean, let's be honest. I watched the Newlyweds. I watched the Osbournes. I grew up in the MTV, VH1 reality TV era. The messy reality TV era that turned into the Adam DiVello beautification of reality TV that we know and love today. You know Adam DiVello from Selling Sunset, but he originally showed Laguna Beach, season 1 through 3, which I don't really watch season 3, but then he moved into The Hills, 1 through 6 season, and then The City, which coincided with the last season of The Hills. There's 2 seasons of The City. All of those were a masterpiece in reality TV. It actually introduced my age and the world to the aspiration of reality TV, the Real Housewives reality TV, the reality TV that moved away from toddlers and tiaras, that moved away from Honey Boo Boo, that moved away from that messiness and we started to see just really elite, rich people with the soap opera drama. You know, because what we did realize was the chaoticness and the messiness that they created with the real reality TV, it wasn't always super fun. So they created for my generation, the same age as Spencer Pratt. I'm 42, and Adam DiVello created this show, this type of concept that this generation, my generation, understood really well. I understood by watching the after shows. Shout out if anyone also knew who Dan Levy was, because way back in the day when he was doing the MTV after shows for Laguna Beach, for The Hills, when Schitt's Creek came out, I was like, yeah, Dan, because we remember. We were all there together. We were embracing this reality TV that we knew was different. It was people being themselves. They were their names, essentially. They used their names, and they kind of had loose connections with the people involved, and you kind of knew, but they were connected to social media. So we could see after every show Spencer Pratt coming online talking about his creation. We knew Spencer was acting. You watch it and you love to hate him. That was the fun of it. You love that he was the villain, but you knew he was playing the villain. He never acted like he wasn't. He never said he wasn't. If you were paying attention, which I was, I was. Let me tell you, as far as a fan goes, there are certain shows that to this day I will watch once a year. Generally speaking, it will be on my TV, season 1 through whatever, at least once a year. Buffy the Vampire Slayer, the entire series will all be played in my household during the fall season. It will be on regularly. And also during kind of more the summer, you'll see Ugly Betty, and you'll also see first Laguna Beach season 1 and 2. I like to watch in order. I have to watch in order. Season 1 and 2 Laguna Beach. Don't mess with season 3. And then I go straight to The Hills season 1. Watch that all the way through 6, and then I likely will watch The City. Now, what's really funny is that, yes, I can watch it on, say, Amazon Prime, I think has it, Paramount Plus, I do subscribe to that. Sometimes it has it, HBO used to have it. It, like, moves around. But I went on iTunes originally, back in the day. I have a whole big hard drive of just Laguna Beach Hills in the order, also into The City. So I have on my hard drive iTunes. I bought it when it was still iTunes, and I bought every single one, the season passes. So this is how big of a fan I was, and actually still am, I guess. I will watch at least once a year, the entire series. And I haven't added the New Beginnings, the Hills New Beginnings. I have watched them. Let's not get that twisted. I did watch the New Beginnings. I did not add that to my rotation. However, when you watch it, Adam just, he knew. He honored us. He honored the fans. He did such a great job when they did the reboot too. They didn't mess around. Gossip Girl is another one that I will rewatch probably the entire series at least once a year. That one maybe I haven't watched in the last year, so maybe that one is now mixing into like every 2 years. But guess what, The Hills? Spencer Pratt is still on my playlist. Heidi and Spencer are still regularly rolling on my screen. Instead of watching new stuff, you know, the crap that they put on TV, I watch the old crap the stuff that was made for me. This is my generation stuff. So Spencer is my generation. That's who he relates to. And so that's where I wanted to come on with a different type of lens of who Spencer Pratt was and who we see him as, and why I actually see him having shown so much consistency for 20 years for people who are like, hey, he has no experience, like you can't trust him, he just comes out of no. We know who Spencer Pratt is. We've known who Spencer Pratt is for 20 years. Okay, so he wasn't in the first Laguna Beach, right? Any of them. He wasn't in season 1 through 3. Heidi was. She was introduced, and we loved Heidi from the beginning. She was introduced in season 2 of Laguna Beach as Lauren's kind of friend, sidekick with Jen Bunney. Now, around that time, Jen was starting to riff. So when The Hills originally started, I remember hearing about, like, this is allegedly, reportedly, everything that I've heard over the years, watching the after shows. After every single episode, there would be an after show. I would watch their social media, started on MySpace, moved to Facebook, moved to Twitter. Yeah, I am that person. So that's why I feel like I am uniquely qualified to discuss this, because they were using Jen as a plant like the entire time to create this drama that they wanted, just like they did during Laguna Beach. Not everyone was dating everyone that they said they were. They were creating drama, and Laguna Beach season 2 was awesome. The producers really did a great job with that drama in there. And so they carried it on, and they were still filming, apparently, allegedly, reportedly, and they created this drama with Jen that actually created real issues between Lo and Lauren, and it's why they didn't talk for several years. Bear with me, because I will get to Spencer very shortly, but I do want to go into kind of the stuff that you're hearing happening behind the scenes at the same time. So during that summer, as they were starting to film, they were trying to figure out that storyline. Lauren, Heidi, and Jen were all going to LA. They were all going to move there together. But when they finally got the contract signed for the pilot, they ended up moving them into their production because they don't actually live at the places like full time that they're filming at in any of the series. And so they moved the two, but they didn't move Jen in. Why? Because Jen didn't fit the look. She never did. They had her on the sidekick, and she just didn't play well with the audience, in the sense that the audience just never, she was just there, and they really catered to what the audience was interested in at that time. And so they had found the apartment, and they decided they needed to replace Jen. And Audrina Patridge was sitting by the pool in the apartment that they just leased out. She was working at Quixote Studios. She was still trying to be an actress. So she was happy to sign on a contract. When they knew that Lo wasn't going to be there, she wasn't wanting to do all that drama. She didn't want to play that game. And so they created, Audrina didn't have a very good storyline. They tried to have her date that one guy, Heidi's original boyfriend in the show, Jordan. And he had a friend who was like not interesting. I guess he was just Jordan's friend, but Jordan wasn't interesting either. Let's be honest. The first real group of people that moved to LA weren't that interesting for a show. So what they did with Audrina, they tried to start introducing these storylines with her. Justin Bobby, he's not named Justin Bobby until Lo was reintroduced in season 3. Justin Bobby's he's a hairstylist for Maroon 5. He's known in the music industry. He does hair. He goes to major Quixote Studio production team. Been dating Audrina on and off. The stuff that you hear about, the drama where it's where he left her in Vegas and all that stuff was happening in season 1 and 2. He would refuse to come on the show. By the time season 3 came along and Audrina was actually introduced to dating Justin on the show, Audrina was already dating Corey. And so when you see Audrina like date Corey like once or twice, well, she's trying to get over Justin Bobby, and then she dumps him on air. I'm using this because she's not really doing it. She actually continued to date him, but she dumped him on air after the second date because A, he wasn't that interesting. It was a bit mashed potatoes. Just a normal guy, just not interesting. But also because they needed to bring Justin Bobby back. That was the storyline that was getting more interest. I don't know how Jordan was, but they really didn't want him to be on the show. They didn't want the viewers to like him. So, however he was in real life, they cut him to make him look not like a good guy. And they didn't make Heidi look good in this relationship either, but Heidi always was made to look a bit eccentric, a bit irresponsible. That was like her role. She was the party girl, fun, irresponsible one. She had more of a storyline. She didn't apparently look the look. I don't agree with this though. And this is where the line gets drawn. I feel like someone was telling Heidi she didn't look the look. When if you look at the fans loved Heidi. Like, I thought she was gorgeous originally before plastic surgery. I thought the first stage of plastic surgery, she looked gorgeous. I mean, there were several stages and seasons. And so you're watching, but obviously there was storylines going around about her looks. And I'm just not sure where those came from because as far as I was concerned as a fan, they're all beautiful. But when I'm looking at like who I just thought, like I thought was just the prettiest, who I'd like to look like, I liked Heidi. Heidi was my favorite. I loved her. And she was so like, just her personality, everything about her was so much fun to watch. So now I know this was a long setup and I haven't talked about Spencer, but the understanding of the ecosystem that Spencer was coming into is really important. What MTV was not only creating for the first time ever, serving us on a golden platter, this elite aspirational lifestyle filled with actual real soap opera drama that didn't just follow up, that actually story arced through episodes. I mean, they were creating plot lines, obviously, so that it would fan. Like they were connecting the dots that we do like the reality, but kind of also like the thought out plot lines with twists and turns. That was the beauty of it. You watched it knowing that and watching the characters come into it. So when you watch Audrina, she just wasn't as good of an actress, I guess. She couldn't play those roles. Audrina wasn't super lively, especially initially. She improved as time went on, but maybe she just didn't understand her role. Maybe it was just the scenes that they got her in. But yeah, and some of the people that they were trying to get her to date, it was like, stop it, no. And so, yeah, they really were struggling with some of the main characters. So what happened was because they were struggling, you cannot keep Jason there forever. Jason had, allegedly, reportedly, and what we saw in the news, some substance issues. So it was not a safe and healthy environment or fake relationship for Lauren to be in. So when Jason was gone, they were like, what are we going to do? But what happened was Brody's BFF, who Brody at the time was dating Kristen Cavallari, introduced Heidi and Spencer because Kristen was friends with Heidi and they actually introduced them to be like this couple. And so Heidi and Kristen and Brody and Spencer were like big buddy initially in the beginning. You don't see Kristen or Brody on the show as together as that couple because they wanted Brody and Lauren to be. But that's why when Lauren and Brody were dating and Jen came in, they really tried that. No one cared about Jen. Jen was always a sidekick. No one cared. She kept trying to add this drama. The drama was interesting, but she was forgettable. And so when you're watching all this stuff happen, you see Heidi in there. They don't even introduce Spencer like a thing. And that's what I think is so tricky. The producers didn't see Spencer. He didn't look like Brody. I mean, I think Spencer's attractive. And they didn't want Heidi because Kristen wasn't part of the show. She couldn't be because it was Lauren's show. But then this guy comes in and he steals the show. He steals Heidi. He steals everything. And you can tell. There is a point when you tell, I allegedly, reportedly, he talks to Heidi and says, this is what's going to happen. They decide that they like each other. They want to be together. She wants to be famous. She wants to do her pop music career. And I'm going to get into that. This is how Heidi stole The Hills and made it the most popular, iconic MTV reality show ever that I still watch today. This is Spencer Pratt's show. This is where we're at. So what I believe happened, because if you watch the after shows and you watch the social media, there is a turning point right before Spencer starts to go crazy on the hill. Not the crazy crystal years. This is the initial years when Spencer was first on the show. Spencer and Heidi started dating off camera. And so when you come on, it was casually introduced. He's the guy she's been dating over the summer. I guarantee they had a whole different storyline set up. They had different things because you kind of see little pieces trying to get pulled in like they were filming stuff. They were not ready for this, because I believe once Spencer decided he loved Heidi, this was the one for him. I believe that he makes decisions pretty quickly like that. He sticks to them. And this is who Spencer Pratt has shown himself to be since the beginning. From the beginning, he wanted Heidi, fell in love with Heidi immediately as like a 23-year-old kid. He wanted that, and he knew what she wanted, and he took it under his wing to get her what she wanted, but he was protective. And when he went in there, he said, okay, I'm going to be a villain. I'm going to make this a good show. He knew how to make it a good show. He was my generation. Remember, he was watching the Newlyweds. He was watching the Osbournes. He was watching all of these shows come up. He knew. He created this show. I know Adam DiVello created this, but him and Adam together, I believe Spencer Pratt. I mean, even Brody mentions it later, like 2025, okay, welcome to the club. We knew this as a watcher, as an audience from the beginning. Spencer is the reason that show became so big, so talked about. Spencer and Heidi, but, you know, Spencer is, I believe, what the mastermind of that was, because you can watch it. You can watch what it starts to be, and I believe Heidi is a good actress. I honestly do, but I believe she got better as she went. But you can see it. You can watch it as he starts to play this role. He starts to see that he's getting airtime. He starts to see when the cameras are coming. He starts to see this is going to cause some stuff. This is going to make us famous. It's going to get my girl what she wants. And so that's what he started to play into. So you're watching almost immediately. He never dated other people. I don't know Spencer Pratt, but he's in love with Heidi. Like, I could never, from the beginning, even when he was being this little flirty guy, like, no, he was Heidi. That was it. I don't know how. You just could see it. You could see it was him and Heidi, ride or die. And you didn't want it because it's so toxic, because that's what he was playing. But off the scenes, he wasn't. And she was still being, Christian. There was allegedly, reportedly, some stuff that things were happening. So the no contact storyline wasn't just on Spencer and Heidi. Oh, so his loyalty storylines? Yeah. Spencer, if you know anything about him, you'll know he has loyalty issues as far as you need to be loyal. Not loyalty issues as being loyal. Spencer will be loyal to you to a fault. He's grown and matured, and you watch it as he matures, but he has been loyal. He has been loyal to Heidi. It's excessive when you watch how it happens, because you see it and you think he's not. But when you're watching this guy who created a villain, he said going in, he said it on social media nonstop, he's creating a role, he's playing a role, he's playing the producers, he's producing the show, and he wanted him and Heidi to be the characters, and that's who they became. And then, of course, whether she had body dysmorphia, whatever happened with that, the media stuff, he was playing a role in promoting those stories as well, as at the same time as other people were promoting stories. So everything was clashing. And what you saw happen during the season 4 and 5, Heidi had a music career that she wanted to start. She actually was doing decently initially. And then MTV started playing her like a joke. They started talking about her her personal identity issues because of one of the plastic surgeries. She was going through these things. She was trying to get her music career started. She was pretending to be working at Bolt House. She was doing the show, doing all the stuff that they wanted, but she was doing her music career. And she could have done it. She was doing it. And the producers, they turned her into a joke. They started allegedly, reportedly, producing stories and things externally also to crash her career. so that she was the joke. That was like, they wanted that to be her storyline. That's not what Spencer and Heidi wanted their story to be. And she was making money off of this. Spencer decided that he was going to take it in his own hands. Allegedly, reportedly, couldn't get out of a contract. He couldn't do any of that. So what did he do to protect his wife? Spencer went crazy and made Heidi go crazy so that they could get off the show. You would hear the reports of him freaking out, doing stuff so that they broke his contract. He did not want Heidi to lose all her money. He did not want all of this stuff to go on. So he made himself the most hated man in America, the most hated man on reality TV. He made himself this huge villain, not only to help the show, to rise everyone to fame, but also to get his wife out of that contract, out of being made fun of, out of being made a joke, so that she could actually have a music career. So her Spotify gets like 2 million views a month, like 2 million listens, downloads a month. Okay, so Heidi is making money and has been since after, and even during The Hills. Heidi apparently gave him the idea to sell the crystals, and he saw that the man was so good, he was selling them on Snapchat. Like, he started to create this business out of his kooky, crazy personality that he created for the show. I mean, they're business people. They're not stupid. From that time, those crystals that you're watching him go crazy on the show, he ends up creating a business from that. Now, this happened in 2019 and 2020. So when they started filming The Hills, New Beginnings, that was pre-pandemic. Brody Jenner had always been set up as this cool guy, the playboy, a nice guy, actually. Even though he was a playboy, he was still a nice guy. I don't think Brody's like a jerk, and I don't know these people, but he was more of a player, reportedly, than you even saw in the show throughout the years. So as you're watching this nice guy image of Brody and Spencer being this crazy guy image, even though Spencer was the one who was in a committed long-term relationship with someone the entire time, and doing everything for her, creating a family together, making those plans to have the kids, even though they made it on the show like he wasn't. No, of course he was going to have kids. There was never a time when he was not going to have kids with Heidi, okay? There was never a time. But it was a fun storyline, right? That she was going to just trick him. And that was super cute. I mean, not super cute in real life. It was just the way that she played it out. It was just fun. It was, again, I'm not condoning that behavior at all. So when they left, we still had paparazzi, we still had the media, we still had TV shows. Spencer and Heidi were still out there. Brody was still being seen out there. He made appearances on the Kardashians. We're seeing what Brody is doing in the sidelines. We're seeing he didn't change his playboy ways. He didn't change anything. Like, all of this stuff starts happening, and you're actually seeing, wait, Brody is faking a marriage. He faked a marriage in like Indonesia, did not allegedly reportedly sign any legal paperwork so that he could come back in the US and never make it legal, so that he could have this open relationship with her that he just kept wanting to stretch and stretch and stretch. And Brody even ends up apologizing for his issues from the past. Now he's happily married, and you know what, a second kid on the way, right? Congratulations. But on this show, he did not come across well. And he came across how he had been coming across in the media for years. So when he actually came later and was like, oh, I couldn't play the role anymore of this playboy going to clubs, I was like, no, you actually were playing that role, and you just got caught, and no one wanted to see Brody Jenner, the mature 40-something, playing the role, and you didn't realize that you needed to grow up, and you didn't realize that the fans were going to turn on you. So yeah, the fans turned on Brody Jenner because he was an immature playboy who didn't grow up and who was treating women like crap. And, you know, Kayla wasn't doing much better. Neither of them looked good in this whole thing. But throughout this thing, who's coming out smelling like roses? Spencer and Heidi. We're also seeing that Spencer and Heidi are still together, having children, still doing their music career, still doing the crystal company, and still trying to do the fame stuff. And I mean, unapologetic, like they never lied about that. They were always the same people throughout the years. So I would vote for Spencer. Let me know your thoughts, comment, like, subscribe, or don't do anything at all. Have a great day.
Let's go.